what position is an artist in who loses the need for ideas or it really becomes probably a little bit terrified of inspiration itself? I mean, what can happen? What future has an artist when that happens to him? Um, so that's what I'd like to discuss a little today, perhaps. Now it's okay. It's not exactly as tragic as I try to make it sound. I'm using a little poetic license there. It's actually just trying to explain where I am right now and where I intend to go, and probably just to explain a little how much I've done in advance of what I'm doing right now, which is preparing for that first series, as I call it. It has a name, but I won't say it yet. Um, the series has a name, and of course, all the individual pictures in that series will have a name. When I say all, there are only five. There are going to be five of them. But I just want to take you through some of the reasons that I'd have for being a little bit afraid of, imagining too much or thinking about art anymore too much for a while, for perhaps a few years, because of the work, the workload I have already before me. And that's what I mean when I say terrified of inspiration. Um, it's a case of I've got a packed agenda. Now, I obviously prepare paintings in advance, although, again, with me, everything's there's always an alternative meaning, because I'd like to get to a stage, and I plan to get to a stage where I won't be thinking in advance at all, and I'll just come up against a blank canvas and I'll start painting, and that's the stage. I know I could do it now if I wanted, in a sense, and I'd probably be a much more content person in a way to do that now. But no, I have too many obligations to projects that I have on the pipeline for so long, and these things become, well, they become children, they become babies, and you have an obligation to them, and it's a real obligation, and it can be very, well, it can be emotional in a real sense. So I think I have an obligation to a number, and probably have an obligation to too many things. And again, that gets back to the idea that I don't want any more inspiration hitting me, because that's the big problem. I have too much to do, and I have obligations to projects that I really want to see through now to an end, and to get them painted and to have them done and to say bye bye, and to just have the sense of completion, and that I'm letting them to go about their way in whatever way they want to go. And then I can finally, which is my ideal, is to get to that point where I have the freedom, where I can say that I then have the freedom, and I have no more obligations, and I can have the freedom to just approach a canvas, just choose a size, and just approach a canvas, and just begin as I'd begin a sketch, which, a sketch is usually, for me, it's just to begin with scribbles. You just begin with very light scribbles, and then you see what's going to come. And if you see anything at all, you sort of concentrate on it, and you refine it, and then you virtually have a sketch that may and may not mean something in the end, but at least you have something that has a little bit of solidity to it. And so that's the way I would like ideally to approach painting at this stage. I'd just like to approach a canvas and start scribbling with paint and see what happens. And that's my ideal, and it's I'll get there eventually, but no, I have too many obligations to do that now at this stage. So what are my obligations? Well, the obligations are this first series. For a start, it's been planned for quite a while, quite a few years, so it's not exactly new, and it's waiting and it's waiting and it's waiting and it's waiting for the right time, and the right time is now. So it's 5 paintings, and I'll do them over the course of the next few months, and when I have them done, when that series is finished, I have another 2 series to do that I really want to do. One is quite advanced in preparation. Still a lot to do, but quite advanced. And the other is more in my mind still, and it's one. It'll be based on deserts that I've already mentioned before in a video. I have to do something that gets across some of my love of that kind of landscape, and my reasons perhaps for loving it. So what we have here is a pile of folders with individual projects involved in each one of them. It would be little sketches or notes to myself on what I want to do or where I want to go, or little research things on each concept. But this is the kind of thing, this is the kind of work I had before me. So the first one here is, as you see, it's the title is Mouse. Now these are working titles, and none of them will have these titles when they're finished, if they get finished and when they're finished. But this one is called Mouse, and this is one of the series I'm going to do right now, the first series. Right now it's called Mouse, but it's so in there you'll have little sketches, and I won't open them because it's well, I just don't want to. You might as well see work in progress as. I will show you little bits of that folder, inside this folder, when I get around to painting that. I'll just show you how progress happens and how the sketch develops into what I'll be painting at that time. So, but that's part of the first series. Silver is, this one is called Silver, and it's well, it's been painted at the moment. Well, it's not been painted. It's a painting that I put by and put aside, and had to put aside because I was too busy. And but it's a personal painting, and it's as they say. What did they say? They say private collection or something like that. So that's what that is for me. It's one of my own paintings for me, and it's so. But that's that painting is, as I say, it's put on the long finger, and I'd love to get it finished sometime. I hope, but it's there. It's an obligation. So that's 2 obligations. Magpie is the next one. That's what the title is. Again, that's for this series. So I'll just put those to one side, and I'll keep the series work together. So Magpie is, again, it won't be called that when it's finished, but that's one of the paintings I'm going to get involved in this year now, in the early part of this year. In fact, that's going to be the first thing I'm going to paint. It's the last concept that came from my ideas of a series. It's the last concept that came to fruition in my mind, let's put it that way. But it's going to be the first painted. I'll explain all that later, but I won't show you anything inside that folder either. Apple Trees is, again, that's another personal painting, and that's done, that's complete, and that's private collection stuff for me. It's personal. Paddy and Molly and Boys. Some people who know me more intimately will know who Paddy and Molly is, and they'll know why they'd probably be involved in something that I might do of an artistic nature. And that's another. It's going to be a personal painting, but hopefully I get that done too. But again, I have to put all these things on the long finger. But that's another obligation painting, but it's private collection again. Raven is one of the series paintings that I'm going to do, so it's part of this pack here. Gull is also part of this series that I'm going to do. There are 5 of them, so Gull is another one, and I think that's the 5th one, is it? There's one more to go, but Gull is Gull is an important painting for me, an important painting concept for me. The others are as well, they all are in that series, but Gull has a special significance to me because I like it. I mean, I really, if I can make it do what it can do on canvas, I think I'll be very happy because I just like the concept. Really, I really like the concept, the way it flows, or what it does in the little sketches and things I've done on it. So I can hope I can do it justice, but it's quite an important painting for me. But that's part of the series. Hispaniola is again personal painting, finished. It's just for my. It'll always be in my possession, that painting. Dragon Slayers. Quite an important painting concept. Yes, I really need to do this one, and I really hope to get to do it. I imagine it big, you see, and it's going to need a lot of preparation because it's quite complex. But it's certainly one of my obligation paintings that I need to do, and it's quite big. It's in my mind, it's quite big. It's one of the bigger ones. I mean, this series work isn't small. This series that I'm going to do isn't small. This Dragon Slayer one is quite big, and it's probably not for. It's for more of a. It's just a big painting, but I hope to get it done, and it's an obligation. I'm not saying I'll ever get these things done. These other paintings that are not part of the series done, but they are obligations. They're on my. There are priority paintings, and therefore I have to hold back on the other things I might do in the future in order to get them done. That's what I mean by obligation, as distinct from looking for more inspiration. Fox, yes, this is the last of the first series. That will be. I'll put Dragon Slayer up here. So that will be the fifth painting in the series, the first series. Africa. These concepts, and they're all concepts. I keep saying paintings, but they're concepts, as we all know. It's not a painting until it's painted. So concepts for paintings. Africa. It's older. It's one of the oldest ideas I've had for this stage. And if we say I've thought about art seriously for, let's say, maybe 5-6 years, let's say. Africa would be one of the oldest ideas I had in the beginning, and it's an obligation. But Africa is a big painting, and I'll tell you why it's a big painting, because I've decided, my mind decides all this. I let instinct take over. Instinct is a big part of what I do, and it takes over, and it suggests that this painting should be real life sizes. So whatever's in the painting should be true to life, and you can imagine what might be in that painting, and so if it's true to life, it's going to be a very big painting, and it needs a lot of preparation, and I just don't have the time or resources to even consider that yet. I thought I did in the beginning, and I said, well, I'll go for it, and then I said, no, I'm not there yet. I'm not there yet, but it will be, but I really want to paint it, and it's on the obligation list. America is also, I wouldn't call it part of any series, but it was also one of the very early stages of my thoughts on. It came together with Africa. It's also a painting I really want to paint, and I like the concept. I like if I can get it to flow, and if I can get it to, if I can do it justice, as I always say about these paintings when I start them, if I can only do them justice, because in my mind, and sometimes even in sketches, there can be things I really like. But then when you come to paint them, you can sometimes be very self-critical, and you say, did I do it justice? And so I really want to do this justice, but it's also an obligation painting, and it's on the list of things to do, really is. But it's a massive painting, and I just don't have the space or the time to do that yet. So there's a number of projects there that I want to paint, that I feel are obligation paintings, that I have a duty to in some way. And then we have this main folder. This is probably my most important preparation material that I have, and I do have a lot of preparation stuff on computer as well. It's not only here, but this is my concepts to work on, and it's quite a noble folder, as you say, well-used folder, and it's the thickest folder, and it's got tons of sketches, tons of little. They can be thumbnail sketches, or they can be more detailed sketches, or they can be just doodles, or it's all work that I think might have a place somewhere, sometime in works I might do. So if there's any hope at all, or if there's any reason to what I'm seeing on the sketching, it goes in here. And then I have the dedicated sketches that are actually meant to be, little ideas and little inspiration sketches for art in the future. And there's a lot of that in there. There's piles and piles of it, because I can do little thumbnail sketches that I can blow up to big paintings. Again, I hope to get back to the main paintings, quickly enough. And I think I'll keep, day-to-day diaries of me doing that painting. The first one with the magpie in it. It won't be called magpie, but with the magpie in it. I think I'll keep daily little diary entries, video entries of progress on that, and we'll take it from there.